A mulligan. There you go. That's what I needed, a mulligan.
Technology for our virtual Rotary Club. Well, let's come up with a do-over technically.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
We need one. We need one. So, hi, my name is Lisa Krudinski, and I am calling in today from Seattle, Washington. And the good news I have to share is that our new URL is now live, and our website has been cleared. So that was the last piece in getting our charter, our official charter. So, woohoo!
Yay.
Congratulations. I really want to acknowledge Lisa and Steve and Ian for jumping through all of the hoops that you did to get that done. It was a big accomplishment. So thanks very much, Steve. Would you like to check?
Congratulations.
Kat, can I ask you to do me a favor? Oh, I see. Here's a link. I have the staff of Yasuhiko in Japan trying to get on. I see the link. Can I just send him that link that you sent us?
I'm going to put the link again in the chat window. That's the link for the Hangout that we're on right now.
Okay. And I'll forward that to him so he can get on.
Perfect.
Perfect. While he's doing that, Jamil, would you like to check in? You're on mute, Jamil.
Yeah. Well, it's been a good week. I got back from Haiti about a week ago, and the project is starting to move forward, and that feels good because it was a long time dealing with paperwork and other noxious USAID stuff, obstacles and stuff. But anyway, now we're moving, and that feels good. And so I'm working on developing a crisis manual for mayors in Haiti, and which is an interesting project. And we're getting started. Oh, I'm kind of excited. I'm going to be giving I may have mentioned this last time. If I did, forgive me. But I'm going to be giving a talk on our film project at a Rotary Club here in Cambridge, and on July 17th. So I'm looking forward to that. And not much else to report. That's basically what's going on.
That's wonderful, Jamil. Is there any kind of support that we in the Rotary Club could offer you in those projects?
Well, I mean, on the film project, I would love some support. I mean, it's a very challenging project, and we're trying to raise quite a bit of money to launch the film. We've gotten wonderful endorsements from the ambassador. I don't think I've ever really, I don't know what I've said about it, but it's a film on peace building in Burundi. It's a documentary that we want to do, and recently we got some wonderful endorsements from the former Assistant Secretary of State for African Affairs, and also from the current U.S. ambassador to Burundi, and also from the president of the Alliance for Peace Building. They've all said wonderful things about our project. So we are about to launch a fundraising campaign for the film, and we've got a fiscal sponsor, so everybody's contributions are tax deductible. And if you like, I can put the URL for the page. On that same page, there's one of the endorsements. There's a trailer, and there's also a 16-page booklet that describes the project. So I'll put that up.
Actually, yeah. Jamil, it's actually also on our website. So
I
put the link to your project.
So there it is.
Yeah.
And Jamil, I would also recommend posting it to our Facebook page.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, that we should do that. And if
Mm-hmm.
anybody is interested, what I can do is I can post. We have if you really want to dive into it, because it's a really interesting story, and um, we have a 16-page booklet that describes the overall plan in considerable depth, and then there's that trailer, and and we've got these wonderful endorsements. So um, I'm happy to share all that. But a lot of it is on the web page. So
Super.
yeah.
Great. All right. So that's very exciting news, and those of us who are able and willing to jump in on that project, we're going to discuss a little bit today about working groups, and so maybe that will come up in that conversation.
Okay.
All right. Lisa, you've checked in. Jamil, you've checked in. Steve, would you like to check in officially?
Yes, I'm trying to get to that Japanese person. Okay, okay, I can check in. Hi, everyone. I guess we know each other, so I'm in Alaska now, enjoying a fabulous summer day. And Jamil, I have to comment, your video was
Absolutely,
posted
yeah.
on our website, and I saw it, and I think it's fantastic. And I'll be in touch with you.
You know what? We just
Maybe after this, maybe we can talk about going forward with your project.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, get some more information from you.
Mike's fish off. Yeah, we cleaned the place all up, so it's looking good.
Well, Steve, that's great to hear. I appreciate it.
Okay.
All right. Good luck in your.
We're going to see you in Steamboat.
Absolutely. Come see me again, and then I'll see you in
Yeah.
Vail for sure.
Yeah.
World champs and
Yeah.
World Cup maybe if you're there and all that good stuff. So.
Right. I won't. Maybe I'll be there this year because I'll.
Hey, Kat.
Hey, Kat.
Hey, Kat.
Okay. Okay. Bye. Sorry, everyone. I was saying goodbye to my U.S. Olympic downhill guest, Chad Fleischer. So forgive me. All right. What was the question, Lisa?
Well, we were just trying to tell you you had not muted, so we were trying to. I think you had video instead of microphone. It's all right. It's all right. No worries.
Okay. Forgive me.
Attention.
Did
So
Steve?
Yes, Steve checked in, and yeah.
Okay. All right.
And I
Sorry
think
about.
Mark is rebooting, so.
Great. All right. And I know that Elizabeth is trying to get on too, so she has some troubles with her communications. All right. So, one moment.
Okay, well, at least she's got her mute on again. So, let's see. I know, Steve, have you heard back from your, who was trying to get on in Japan?
You're on mute, Steve.
Steve, you're on mute. Steve, you're on mute.
Yeah. You know, everybody, so this technology takes a little bit of getting used to. So I think it's great that everyone's so patient as we work through these. I'm convinced that when we get all of this protocol down, these will be really rich and endearing conversations. So in the interim, Steve, would you like to check in?
Yes. I briefly was talking with Jamil, but again, I'm Steve Yoshida, and I'm in Homer, Alaska. It's nice to be at the same place as Kat because now we can have live meetings. And yesterday it was really helpful because we set up a local bank account and a PayPal account, and we're all set as far as the logistics of having our club start moving. So as soon as we are chartered, we will maybe.
Hi, Steve Yoshida.
Hi.
Super loud.
Everyone, this is my husband, Steve Haber.
I just caught all the halibut that's left in the bay. There's none left for you.
Well, luckily we froze some, so I'm glad we did that. Did you enjoy the soup?
Steve, he's asking if you enjoyed the fish soup.
I tell him I wanted you ate it. I wanted it.
Yes, he did. Yes, he loved it.
Absolutely loved it.
All right. Eric, you're on mute. If you can unmute yourself, we'd love to hear a check-in from you. Good news. And if we don't hear from Eric, you're still on mute. Hey, it's
there you
Andrew.
go. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Can you hear me now?
We can.
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
I'm here. I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Hey, we can hear you.
Yes.
Yes, you can.
So, Eric, we're just checking in. Good news.
So I'm driving at the same time.
Uh-oh. That sounds dangerous.
So the good news is I got a PowerPoint up on SlideShare, and you can check out my presentation.
Good news.
Bravo. And may I say what an excellent presentation it is?
Oh, he's gone again.
Okay.
No, I'm still here. I'm still here. Thank you. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome. It's a focus on, maybe you can explain the focus of it, Eric, since it's your presentation.
So I would be happy to, since everybody can hear me, really what it's about is when I looked at our purpose of Rotary International in general, and then I looked at my role, what participation might I contribute to Rotary International and to we Rotary in particular. And I realized that I knew that the truth was we actually are today in a less violent, more safe world than ever before. That's domestically as well as internationally. And I thought, you know what, that's about focusing upon what's working, focusing upon the desired outcome that we all desire, which is peace in the world. Of course, when you achieve that, you also get the benefit of less conflict, less armed conflict comes with that. And so I briefly thought I would just touch base about that, because my purpose and intent then would be to focus on peace solutions, what is working, and how we can focus more about contributing to that, enhancing that, instead of focusing on armed conflict. And a lot of nonprofits, a lot of NGOs, need to focus on what's wrong, because that's what they're about trying to save, and that's how they motivate and inspire to have people contribute money. However, I feel that also can create an energy feed into that problem. It almost like feeds the problem to exist. So I decided for my purposes, I wanted to do something different. I wanted to be different, creative, innovative, and I wanted to focus on what are solutions out there that are actually working to bring peace to the world. But the first and foremost is about being a messenger that we have made progress, that we are achieving goals, that it's not about hope, it's already happening. We are in a more peaceful world than we ever have been in our lifetimes, and I think that's important to message that and to be an advocate and focus that energy upon that so we can create a higher consciousness and an evolution of consciousness that indeed shows we are making that contribution, and it is working.
Thank you, Eric. That's really an important milestone to mark and a great place for us to start from. Hey, Andrea, we haven't seen you in a while. Welcome. Please tell us where you're calling in from and share some good news with us.
Hi, my name's Andrea. I'm calling from San Francisco. Good news. Have a couple deadlines, so not so good news, but happy to be here.
Fantastic. And how about you, Mark? Mark? Yes, we can. We can.
I'm calling in from my usual office, and so you want to hear my good news? Is that what you guys are talking about?
Yes.
Good news. Yeah. Good news. Am I the last person to speak right now? Or I just joined, so I wasn't thinking about
He
what to
needs a
say.
minute.
Okay.
A minute, yeah.
Take a minute,
Yeah.
and after Genesis gives her talk, I'd like to invite you and Andrea to have a conversation online with all of us about the idea that you came up with regarding crowdfunding projects. So, with that being said, I'll turn it over to Genesis, and
Kat,
welcome.
we have somebody from Tokyo joining us, Miss Sakina. Maybe she would like to introduce herself. Sakina-san, dozo.
Welcome, Sakina. Please introduce yourself. Your mic indicates that you are on mute. If you go to the top, you'll see an icon on the left that looks like a person with a plus. Beside that is a microphone. If you click that icon, is she understanding me? Steve, do they need translation?
I think she speaks English. わかりますか？ミュートしてますから、マイクロフォンのミュートを消してください。じゃあ一番上左の方に、押したら、マイクロフォンのミュートのバトン出ますから、それを押したら喋ることできます。聞こえますか？奥野さん、聞こえますか？ It looks like she's not hearing us.
Yeah, it looks like we might have lost her. So as she comes back on, Steve, if you're able to, in another way, either through email or Facebook, coach her through getting that icon up so that we can actually hear her, that would be wonderful.
Okay.
So let me turn it over to Genesis now. Welcome, John Steelquist. It's nice to have you here. So, Genesis Long is an actionary, I would say, in Honolulu. So she already gets it about service, and so now we just need to learn what is the area of service that pulls at her heartstrings most. Welcome, Genesis.
Hi, thank you. I wanted to apologize. I think I know what went wrong, and I stopped it, and I think that was the big challenge. So don't stop it once you start it. So my name is Genesis, and I think I'm not too sure if I've done a bio or gave out much information about myself. So I'll just quickly go through and just kind of tell more about myself and a little bit more about my passions and how they all kind of connect with each other. So I currently, for money as a job, I work at the Center on Disability Studies at UH. It's a research entity within the university, so I'm a researcher in education. The project that I'm on is a 5-year project funded by the National Science Foundation. Our goal is to increase the amount of students with disabilities and helping them to transition from high school to college and then college into the workforce, all in STEM-related ways. In this area is the fact that many students with disabilities don't make it to college, and if they do, they don't end up going through college. Other challenges that they face could be basic math, basic English, and those are all the kind of the basis that you need in order to get a degree in college. And so to overcome a lot of those, some including mentoring, tutoring, basic academic skills, and then of course the biggest, which is my favorite, is self-advocacy and learning more about accommodations, and learning more about being speaking up more for yourself and your needs. So it's been a really great project. I love this project more so because I've opened up to becoming more aware of, but physical, mental, and just learning more about some of the. So that's the one job that I have that actually makes money, and everything else I do for love. I basically my overall goal in life is really to help build community. At the moment, it's really on a local level and implementing what I can here, and hopefully at some point really kind of emerging into making a global impact. And I do a lot of this through programming and large events. I think when it comes to community development itself, I always kind of felt that there's these pillars that which falls within community development and community building. One of them is within education, which is why a lot of my interest is more towards education. Other things is health, and then of course social justice and social change. So a lot of those are components that I always have within my life itself. So within
Is anyone else having a difficult time hearing or seeing Genesis?
Stopped.
Yes.
Look, okay, she may have frozen. Okay, well, let's see. Lisa, would you mind sending her a message on Facebook to let her know that she's been dropped from the Hangout? She may not know it. Thank you. While Lisa's doing that, John, would you like to introduce yourself and share with us some good news?
Well, I think you and Steve have most of the good news, but yeah, I'm a Rotarian. I've been a Rotarian for a long time, and today is a very important day for me because it's the 1st of July, and my wife has just become the district governor of District 5000 today. So it's kind of a big event. We're going to an installation this evening for the Diamond Head Club. Anyway, it's kind of a good day for us.
Fantastic. Well, we here at We Rotary celebrate Laura's ascension to leadership, and we'll support her in any way that we can. And we're so grateful for both your support so far in making our fledgling Rotary Club happen. Welcome, Genesis. I think we've got you again. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Genesis? Yes, we can. Oh, we did. Okay. While that is happening, Mark, have you had enough time to think of some good news that you'd like to share with us?
Yes, I do have some good news. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello? Yeah, good. I guess some of you know that I've been selling my bird photos, and I got a check from Maui Ocean Center. So, and that was pretty substantial, so I'm very happy with that.
Yay, Mark!
Thank you. Thank you.
That's great news, Mark. Good job.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
So proud of your success.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mark is a wonderful photographer. His bird shots are just beautiful. You'll have to share it with us someday, Mark.
Sure. Of course.
Welcome back, Genesis.
Okay, sorry about that.
Hi, I'm online. I'm not checking right now.
Go ahead, Genesis.
Okay. So I think I may have left off with the job that I'm involved with. I also sit on the board of an organization called Hawaii People's Fund. I'm not too sure if some of you are familiar with it or not. it's a 40-year organization or foundation, and we help to fund grassroots organizations moving towards social justice and social change here in Hawaii. It's a great organization to be a part of, and it just brings more awareness to many of the movements that we have here in Hawaii. Anything from youth up to LGBT rights, women's rights, health, and so forth. So it's such a wide variety of things that we fund within the Hawaii People's Fund. I'll send you a link of maybe some more information behind it, but it did kind of start in the 60s and 70s, which is just really great time of, I guess, our decade, I want to say, and really in the basis of movement and peacemaking. I think what's been great within over the last 40 years is that many of the people who had started
I think we might have lost Genesis again. She's coming back. Okay. So I see that Lisa has, as while Genesis joins us again. Are you back with us now, Genesis? Genesis, are you back with
Hello?
us?
Sorry, I've never had so much. Yes. Sorry, I've never had so much a chat before. Once again, you know, with the 60s and.
Are you on Chrome? Because sometimes there's problems if you're not on Chrome.
I think I am. It's usually yes, I am.
Okay.
But it might be the internet connection. But I'll make it really fast so we can, if I'll get lost again. As I mentioned, within the 60s and 70s, it was really the start of many movements that kind of came about, which is when our organization started. The great thing is that within over the time of the 40-year span, many of the people who have started these movements are now professionals and lawyers, and really people who have that kind of resource available to make the change needed. And then in addition to that, they also have that values and the heart and passion for a lot of these movements. So I think this time of our lives is really a great time to really start to push towards action, as we mentioned before. One of with is TEDxHonolulu. It's something that I've been involved with for the last 4 years, but within the last 2 years, I've actually taken over the entire kind of license itself. We host a variety of events, so TEDx Honolulu, TEDx Honolulu Salon, and TEDx Honolulu Ed. Anywhere from 3 to 4 events a year, so it's a bit of work to be done, but there's a lot of reasonings behind it all. I definitely feel that the TEDx platform is definitely the best way to really go about by bringing awareness to what's happening here in Hawaii, and then also bringing the ideas of what we have here. I think the biggest challenge that we have.
We may have lost Genesis once again. I just want to point out, Lisa is reminding all of us to please click on the link so that we can track our attendance for today's Hangout. John, maybe you can make the case for why it's important that we gather every other week.
Well, it's important to gather every week, so you get communications and you build fellowship and all the rest of it. But if you can't, you need to check in. The requirement for the Rotary Club is you have to check in every other week, but you should be able to come in every week. You just want to see your friends all the time.
Yeah, so Genesis, are you back with us? Thanks, John. So the way we've structured the meetings are that we have these hangouts every other week, and then in the off weeks, we have TED Talks. So go ahead, Genesis. It's actually talking about her TEDx Honolulu event.
Okay, I have 3 upcoming events. One this month actually, geared towards volunteerism and leadership, and it's really kind of a way to get our volunteers back on board. Last year we've had 150 volunteers be involved in a lot of this, and I'm hoping in the lines of the volunteers, it's really helping to build leadership within Hawaii. Also, we have a next upcoming event, which is where that title, homelessness, came from. But using the event as a way to build more conversation and discussion around homelessness here in Hawaii. It's just a growing problem that we're having, and it's becoming more aware within every type of in Hawaii. The government's becoming more concerned with it, which is really great. I think the challenges that we have is that homelessness does have many factors within it, and that it's not just not having a home itself, but it's also cases of mental illness, it's in cases of domestic violence, in education, and how do we get our youth to the schools when there's no access to getting to the schools itself. So I think I may not have the answers to the issue or the problem, but I think the first step is always to build awareness, and that's what I really hope to accomplish in a lot of the events and programs. I lose anybody or I get lost again.
All right. Mark, you seem more than mildly amused by that. Hey, and I noticed that we've got Marianne from Argentina. We see your icon, not your fabulous face, but would you like to check in, Marianne, with some good news?
I want to say hi. My camera is not working, so you can't see me.
Well, we can hear you. That's good.
But you can hear me, so I am here. How are you?
We are wonderful. Do you have some good news you'd like to share with us briefly?
Not really.
All right. Welcome back, Genesis.
So I'm convinced
we can hear you.
That I'm not meant to speak. So I'm going to go ahead and projects that I kind of mentioned. Maybe what I can do is post some links up to some of the organizations that I'm involved with, the projects and so forth, onto the Facebook page. So you can always take a look into maybe further into my projects itself. But did anybody have any questions before I get lost again?
Great,
I have a suggestion, though, Genesis. This is John. It seems like you don't have enough memory. You look like you're not spooling up. You go for a while, then pretty soon your video and your voice split, then you disappear, then you spool up and you come back. So maybe a little more memory might help you on this one.
Yeah, definitely.
Andrea,
I'll take a look into that.
Andrea, do you have any questions for Genesis? Or any ideas around homelessness or TEDx from your business point of view?
Well, what comes to mind is there's an interesting startup out in San Francisco that tackles homelessness, where they're trying to get folks to donate to them in a more effective way, and I can share that with you. But no.
Thanks, Andrea. Great. So I guess Genesis, look for that in the chat box. Jamil, how about you? Do you have? I would imagine in Haiti, homelessness is a major problem. You're on mute. There you go.
Yeah, no, I mean, homelessness was a massive problem. I worked in Haiti for about 11 months after the earthquake, and there were 1.5 million people living in tents. Um, and the strange thing about the World Cup now is that when we were involved in the World Cup right after the earthquake, that summer after the earthquake, um, we actually used the World Cup to we put up 85 screens, big, giant screens, inflatable screens, in all the tent camps, and during the halftime breaks and the commercial breaks, we put up films on tent repair and gender violence and health information and all kinds of useful, relevant. So it feels so strange to be watching the World Cup this time, and I just turn on the television. Last time we were going crazy trying to get good videos out to people during the World Cup matches. But basically, I'm happy to report that 4 years later, um, there are far fewer people in Haiti that are homeless. Um, they little by little they've been able to um, get people out of the tent camps and into some sort of more permanent shelter, and so there's definitely been progress, um, but it was probably one of the places with the largest number of homeless people after the earthquake there was anywhere else. But you know, but it's getting better now, finally.
It's good to hear good news, right?
Yes, no, it always is. Yes.
Sometimes when we have our heads down and we are focused on solving a specific problem, it's challenging to recognize that we're making progress. So I've heard lots of progress today, so that's encouraging. Genesis, are you able to finish up now? I'm not sure that we have your camera. We see your icon, which is a beautiful smile, by the way. Okay. Well, while we're waiting for Genesis to reconnect with us, I want to recognize Mark for coming up with an idea when we often the answer to a question is embedded in the question itself. And we were talking last time about what is the value proposition that young people have to be involved with our virtual Rotary Club. And Mark came up with an idea, and so I'd like to invite Mark and Andrea to have a conversation that we get to witness about Mark's idea, and then maybe Andrea, you from your expert point of view, can help flesh it out, and let's see if this is a viable pathway for us to embrace here on our virtual Rotary Club. So Mark, why don't you go ahead and start?
I'm so bad at improvising a speech, so let me think. That's like the one thing I really hate, being asked to give a improvisational speech. So bear with me. Can you just go ahead and talk and while I'm thinking?
Okay. We'll turn it over to Andrea. Andrea, you've had a chance to look at Mark's original proposal. Can you give just a general synopsis from your perspective of the parts of it that you think are viable?
Sure. So I took a look over it, and I didn't get into the very details, but it seems like Mark is interested in building some kind of portal to help entice young people to come on board and to help members of the club fund them and see kind of the progress of their projects, and that their incentive in being a part of the club is that they receive funding and support. Is that correct, Mark?
Yes, I started to remember what I was thinking about. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So after the last meeting, Kat and I had a talk. I had no. I'll just be blunt. I think there have been and there are some issues around the concept, the premise of this e-club, and that is so. It's hard for some younger people to join and to stay because one, in two ways. First, financially, you pay $100 to join, come to the meeting, and just to kind of start up and then build up the energy. You don't get to see the outcome of what you pay for. And sure, this is a great seed. You know, this is something that might flourish in the future. But how long do we have to wait? I mean, people expect to get what they pay for. I know this is Rotary, and the premise is that you want to give, but it just doesn't feel right now. But if there's a way for non-traditional Rotary Club members, younger ones, smart ones, creative ones, can actually benefit or actually see the outcome or feel rewarded, I think there might be some way for this club to be more sustainable, actually grow. So as a potential solution, I thought it might be a great idea, potentially, to have our own crowdfunding website where if you have great ideas, functional ideas, decent project proposal, you post your project that might help the world, and invite people to look at it, and if they want to join and fund, you get the funding. And I know there are already existing crowdfunding sites out there, actually quite a few, but it's more like one-to-many relationships. I was more thinking about more like matching site. You know, you may find one to a few donators that could support your idea, and yeah. So I mean, so maybe if you join, join and pay $100, if you get a chance to actually pitch in your idea, say after say half a year or so, after learning how things work, and then they might be able to actually see the outcome and feel like you're actually helping the world, without just coming into the meeting and sitting and listening. So that's the idea.
Great, Andrea. I think what we're really going for here is a brief but focused conversation. In case people don't know who Andrea is, her business is piggybacker.com. That's piggybacker.com. And it's all about crowdfunding. And I think what you do so brilliantly, Andrea, is that you use gamification to simply and effectively teach people how to become great fundraisers online. So
sure, I can give a brief. I can just give a couple sentences about what Piggybacker is for those that don't know. But I run full-time a website called Piggybacker that is focused on teaching teams of all ages and sizes how to crowdfund. I started it because I saw that crowdfunding was spreading to a lot of adults, nonprofits, but not to students, schools, a lot of local community groups. And we realized the reason it wasn't was because they don't know how to fundraise. They don't have full-time staff, a lot of resources. And second of all, they don't know how to utilize the power of numbers to kind of multiply, and they don't know how to motivate their members to tap into their network. So we built a platform just for kids specifically the only one in the world that allows kids under 13 and just addresses a lot of the safety, instructional, and other concerns in working with kids. And it's also gamified to help motivate them. So that's a little bit of background about us. But I guess I'm happy to kind of give some thoughts on, or give some feedback on.
Yeah, if you guys don't mind, I just realized I actually wrote down benefits for the proposal and patrons and read Rotary in my proposal. So if you don't mind, just give me just 2 minutes to read that out. So
Sure.
yeah, for the proposal, the benefits are people with professionalism and good ideas will receive support without waiting for too long, and gain access to one of the best financial sources for philanthropical activities, not just locally, but globally. And they could learn skills to be a project manager and leader in the field of philanthropy. And they could recruit project members and contributors among We Rotary E-Club members around the world. And for the patrons, they could get exposed to various types of Rotary projects and get to support the causes they really want to support beyond their local areas. And they may receive regular feedback from the project manager who's in charge. And they also do not need to fund the entire project. And they could also get permanent recognition on the internet, on our website. And for us, for the E-Club, we could generate revenue from that, and we could establish a unique proposition in Rotary International, and very importantly, take advantage and promote Rotary's brand equity, and take full advantage of the internet to curate the club's identity. And we could give reasons to new and potential members to pay the membership fee because of the potential, and attract people with entrepreneurship. So those are the reasons that this might be a good idea.
Thanks, Mark. Can you go ahead and copy those and post them in the chat window, please?
Okay.
Andrea, your thoughts?
Sure. I think that's a really great idea to kind of loop everyone into why they're paying membership and being able to see projects from start to finish, and also a way to incentivize people to take action. And I think that's also really great. Having been in the field for a couple years, I think the challenge is maintaining a software or website is a full-time job. And so, I mean, my team, we do this full-time. And so I think the challenge is like, do you really need to build another?
We're still on.
Oh, hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, she's getting another call.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead. You're good. The rest of us are listening to you.
Sure. So I think the challenge is like building a website takes full-time resources.
Okay, well try clicking on the new link. I sent it to AOL, your email address.
Kat, you're not on mute.
Thank you, Lisa.
Sorry, I'm thinking that when I put the icon on for the video, I was thinking I was on mute. So forgive me. I was just trying to get another of our members back on. Okay, so go ahead, Andrea.
Yeah, so I was mentioning that I think maintaining a website is like a full-time job, and I think unless there's volume, it doesn't necessarily warrant creating a completely new thing. I would say that to test the idea, it might make sense to just kind of create some kind of grant and see how many members apply. Or I think the software part of it is not necessary unless there's like a lot of people doing this, because it doesn't necessarily make sense to build something for just a few people, right? I'm also a huge fan of leveraging existing softwares, and I recently had a conversation with a big nonprofit called TechBridge, who built their own crowdfunding portal out, and they had a conversation with me because they were like, it's not working, we're not sure what to do, and they were taking a lot of our best practices. And so I think a lot of people try to build new things when they can leverage a lot of existing resources to be more effective. And so that's kind of the business side of me thinking, like, let's like leverage resources so that we don't have to waste money or time building things that other people are doing. So
sure. Hey, Andrea, can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
And this may actually be a question for Mark. But I'm trying to understand. Are we talking about, because we have the ability on our site now to collect donations for specific projects. So I'm trying to kind of figure out are you suggesting we need to? I mean, I like what Andrea is saying. If we could leverage another source to help us do what we're trying to do on our website. That's, I think, where you're going.
Right, but
right?
can new members, relatively new members, post their project?
Yeah, that's the whole idea. Is that we've got our club sponsors projects, and then we have member featured projects. So we've got all kinds. We have the opportunity of all kinds of projects on our site.
Yeah, so I think that would be a great idea to like see what existing resources.
Lisa, from my experience, just having a donate button on a website is an entirely different thing than having a focused, limited time, urgent campaign based on one specific project. I've seen the results that Andrea's site creates with that, and maybe you could make that case better than me, Andrea.
Sure. I mean, yeah, so I think, yeah, so, sorry, give me 1 second. I need to sign a check. Okay.
I mean, I think part of what the ability of Andrea's site, you've got on the ground folks that are collecting and meeting in person and motivating each other and using the site as a tool. Correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm saying anything that's not accurate, but that gives it a lot of motivation. You know, people are connecting in that way, and so for us to do it, we're going to have to find whether we use another crowdfunding source to direct people to us, or we put our projects up on another site. You know, however we do that, we're still going to have to motivate the, you know, the kind of boots on the ground activity that gains interest. So that's why I guess I'm trying to figure out how all those pieces fit together.
I personally feel like maybe the first step is to just create like a grant program, and everyone chips in and everyone reviews projects together. Because wouldn't we be the only ones donating to the project, or are we? I guess that's not clear.
I think ideally we're going to get to a point where we have enough members where, you know, we can say this is a club-sponsored project and our members have contributed. However, there's also an opportunity for others to contribute. And, you know, in a perfect world, if we had, you know, 50 or 100 members, and we could really get the word out. But, you know, so that's why I guess we're just trying to figure out kind of how we get that over the hump first. Because you know, when you're saying grant funding, that's a great idea. And I think we actually have the ability to apply for some grant funds now if we choose some club projects, and then, you know, we may have some ability. Steve, is that right? We do have some grant funding we could possibly apply for, right? If we had a club project?
Yes,
Well,
you can apply to District 5000 for grants now that you're chartered,
Now that we're official, woo!
I think.
Well, and actually, we've already received a grant. We have a $2,000 grant that we applied for the Peace Forum grants for our water project in Myanmar, and that's been granted, although we haven't received the money yet. So it works. I mean, there are opportunities to fund projects created by our members, and collectively we can come up with creative ways of raising that money without even digging into our own pockets. Although eventually, you know, everyone should think about contributing to each other's project. But for the time being, we're getting money from outside sources successfully, and we've already done it.
So it sounds like we're already kind of on that path. So that's progress, right?
That's it.
yeah, I mean, that's the way it looks to me. I mean, as somebody with a project, I'm proud that our project is up on the club Facebook page, and I welcome support. The question I have for Mark is, do you have a specific thing that you're looking to fund? Because I think
I don't. Not right now. I personally do not.
Oh, okay.
All I wanted was that for new members, I want to give them some reason to stay and keep paying membership.
But the membership is just you pay once just to be part of it. You don't have to keep paying it, I don't think. I mean,
Yeah, it's annual, Jamil.
all right. Oh, yeah, so annual, but
So let me rephrase it. I wanted new members to feel like they're actually helping somebody in the world, doing something.
Great.
And joining here and talking doesn't give that sense of aliveness.
okay.
Well, I think that's, part of that, Mark, is we're trying to get there, right? So we're saying, okay, we're getting started, and our goal is that we will have these projects that we can work on, and they can, ideally we'll have a committee that's saying, okay, what's our next project, and members can submit projects, and, we can kind of go through and, like you're saying, bring things to the forefront and have action on them and be moving things forward, so it's not a, new members can jump right in. There's not a big lag time. I think there just feels like maybe there's a little bit of a lag time now because we're just getting off the ground.
Right. So, for example, for somebody who's in their 20s, maybe right after college, what would be the reason to pay $100 for a year?
Well, I think there's a lot of connections to be made, Mark. I mean, you and I have both met new people, right, from joining this club, even though it's just getting started, right? So there's connections to be made. There's maybe mentorships to be had. There's, I know Jamil and I have kind of consulted and tossed around some ideas. Andrea's given us some great ideas in fundraising.
For me, say, for example, that's worth it. That's $100 is worth it because of the connections. But that's because I have, decent income and saving. And I know they're potentially interested, there are young people who are potentially interested in something like this. But, I mean, just $100 a year just to be sitting in for something to grow in the future, I don't think it makes sense at all, to be honest.
Maybe I can respond to Mark. We're trying to encourage younger members, that's true.
Right.
And Kat and I and Lisa are talking about finding ways to subsidize their dues, because you're right. It's not fair if we're trying to get young people to charge them the same as people who are working.
Right.
They may be students, they may just be still in college. So for those younger members, we will have a reduced or maybe a zero fee schedule, and we're picking and asking those people who really have great ideas and who have a great future to do the kinds of projects that we're looking for. Right. So we're talking about that. That is a problem. That is a problem for young people, and it's one reason why young people haven't been drawn to Rotary. But we hope to still draw them because, for one thing, we don't meet and have meals, so that's a savings. But I think we can bring in young people and still afford decent dues to cover everybody. Maybe through fundraisers, of course, we ask everybody to pay their dues, but to the extent that it's a hardship, we would look at it case by case and see how we could help to keep valuable members as part of our team.
Right. And
all right, everyone, I would love to continue this conversation. I want to respect our time. I appreciate that we started 15 minutes later for tech reasons. So at this point, what I'd like to invite Mark and Andrea and maybe Steve and Lisa, if you're willing, is to find a time that you could have a conversation or flesh out this idea about crowdfunding, either for specific projects or ways in which Piggybacker might partner with Rotary. I don't know if that's permitted, for ways that we could leverage your business, Andrea, to do special projects with Rotary. Also look at the question of affordable memberships. Would you four be willing to come back in 2 weeks and give us kind of like, this is kind of what we were thinking makes sense? Bottom line conclusions?
Well, I'll be in San Francisco and I'll be meeting with Andrea, so maybe we jointly could put together a meeting with the other members.
That'd be great.
Fantastic, Steve.
Genesis, did you have something you wanted to add?
I'm not sure she ever got her link back with us. She was moving to a new computer.
Oh, she says her mic is out. Yeah, she was seeing if she could. If you look in the chat box, see, she was trying to jump in, but I don't know.
Yeah, she just said her mic is out.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So in conclusion, let's just start with you, Steve, and we'll move to the left. One new thing you learned on the Hangout today, or one new idea that you're thinking about that you hadn't considered before.
Well, the latest topic is a good one that Mark raised. We've thought of it before, but I think he can add to the conversation. So I'm glad that we can move on and keep discussing this, because it's an important thing, and it's an important part of our club is to have young members. So I like Mark's attention to the problems that we're going to confront as we move forward with that vision.
Thank you, Steve. Mark, do you need more time to check out?
I'm good. Yeah. I have just one word, one phrase. I think we need to give some instant gratification to new members.
Okay. Thank you.
I think that summarizes it.
Thank you. How about you, Lisa? Brief checkout, good news, new idea.
New ideas. My new idea is to keep on plugging with. I mean, I think we've made some tremendous progress. Getting chartered has been a bigger event than we thought it was going to be, and I think we're making some great progress. And I think, you know, we've got to get some structure under us. And then I think, I think we need to explore all our ideas. I think, there's gonna be different attraction for different types of folks. So, you've got different generations. You have people who are different in areas in their work life, and so everybody's motivated. Everybody comes to the table motivated by different things. So, some of this is we need to make sure we're not losing the club's identity. Trying to make everybody happy as well. So, I think there's a balance to be found. I think we can find it. I just think we need to, keep in mind that the bigger the club gets, the more personalities get involved. We kind of have to figure out what path we're walking. So that we can, all get behind it and make it successful. So those are my thoughts.
Thanks, Lisa. Would you be kind enough to go on the website and copy the link for the committees and then paste that in the chat, please? John?
Okay, yeah. A couple of thoughts here. I think what you're trying to say is we need to plan and prioritize our projects. We can't have 15 projects going on. We've got one going on. You ought to pick another one and a third one in sequence. But we need to have projects that people can get involved in right away. A project that's really great, but it's going to take 2 years and 3 people work on it, is not going to work. We need a project where most of the club can get involved in small things. And so for instant gratification, we have a project you come in and here's something we're doing now. We're collecting clothing for a certain area, something like that. Everybody can do that. Something we all get involved in, and it's coherent. Then we need a long-term project. So Rotary clubs, everybody comes and says, "Hey, I want to do a project," and you will say it loud enough, you can become chair of the committee and get it done. So that's standard Rotary. But you also say, "Oh, I want to do this, I want to do that." You volunteer for all of them, then you've got to back off a little bit. But the idea of just prioritize, have sequencing projects in the future. Rotary clubs go forever. We're about to have the 100th anniversary here in Honolulu of the Honolulu Club, so it's not like we just started right away.
Thank you, John, for your wise guidance. Jamil?
Yeah, well, in terms of instant gratification, it's hard to achieve, but I think John's suggestion was good. I mean, for Mark, I mean, if there's something that Mark would like to see happen, you know, he's got to define it and articulate it and make it clear to the group and see how he can generate support for it, you know. And but and I think Steve's idea of making it easier for young people to afford the annual membership and all that, I think is a good one. Um, but basically, we are, like Lisa says, in a formative stage, and there is more talking than action at the moment, just because of the nature of where we are in terms of establishing ourselves. I'm a neophyte when it comes to Rotary. I've never been involved in a Rotary club, and so this is my first experience, and you know, but I'm looking forward. I'm going to be actually visiting a stationary, a non-virtual
A brick and
e-club,
mortar club.
a brick and mortar Cambridge Rotary Club in a couple of weeks and making a presentation to them about our film project. So I'll get a chance to see what that's like. And but yeah, I guess what I would ask Mark to do is to be a little more patient and also to think about some ideas. You know, I mean, if there's stuff you want to do, we'll be interested in helping out, I think.
Thank you, Jamil. Genesis, I know that your mic is down. If there is something that you'd like to report out, something new that you learned from the Hangout today, please put it in the chat so we can hear from you. Marianne, are you able to check out with us now? You're on mute right now.
I'm here.
Yay. Okay, something new or something you learned?
I'm a bit lost.
You're a bit lost?
Yeah. But all seems to be going, so I'm glad. I'm very happy.
Wonderful. If anybody wants to work with Marianne on the new logo for our extended name, please get in touch with her. She has many ideas that she and I have been sharing for the original We Rotary, which I think we're allowed to have as a tagline. Is that right, John?
Yes, yes, yes. As long
Right.
as the name is official, everything else is fine. Yeah.
Great.
You're where you're supposed to be. You've taken care of the few little squares they need, so you're good.
All right. Perfect. And then finally, yes.
Did he saw my project? Did you send it to?
No,
to
I
Sean?
didn't. I didn't. And
Because,
go ahead.
Because you know, Lisa showed me the regulations for Rotary, and they say that we can't use and customize for ourselves logo. That we have to use the Rotary official logo and just make a change on the tagline, but no more than that. Are you
Yeah, they're
aware of
pretty
that?
restrictive. Yeah, they're pretty restrictive in terms of the logo.
Yes. They're worried
So
about copyright with the logo.
So I saw that we may wanted to work with some kind of image, but to use internally and not officially. I don't know. Maybe you must to check that.
Yeah. As far as the logo goes, as long as you use the logo in its entirety with the word Rotary and you don't have picture bleeding through it, then you put anything else on the side. As long as the Rotary emblem looks like the Rotary emblem, then you can have other things in the logo, and that's just fine. They just don't want you to modify the emblem itself, and you can't leave the word Rotary off of it. That's all.
Okay. Do you have shown the original logo? Because I couldn't find it on internet.
Oh yeah, you go to Rotary.com and look for logos, and they have 15 or 20 of them you can download and use. They're all both black and white and in color.
Okay.
Marianne, the website is rotary.org, I think.
Okay. So I'm going to do this if you're okay with me. I'm going to try to search for that logo, change the tagline with a long description from our district, and then we can use maybe some kind of image to attach to the left or to the right for the logo in our communications. Is that okay?
Yes, that's fine. As long as the Rotary logo is clean and you didn't write on it, you don't have anything bleeding through it, and it has the words there, then anything else in the logo is fine. Well,
Okay.
obviously.
So we can work with an image of we Rotary as we name ourselves.
Yeah.
Marianne, John is indicating that that's fine. So, is anyone
the word Rotary? Yeah.
Is there anyone here who would like to work with Marianne on that besides she and I? Nope. Okay, so we'll just continue working on that, and next time, Marianne, let's see if it works in your schedule, if we have some examples to share with everyone. Okay? All right. Finally, Andrea, thanks everyone for your patience today. Andrea, you want to check it out?
Sure. I'm glad that everyone is asking kind of difficult questions about the club and like how to keep members and how to focus and address a lot of people as we grow. I think I personally still struggle with understanding fully the focus as myself as a member, like how I'm contributing and best providing for the club. And so I worry that maybe we're focusing on young people too soon, like maybe regrouping and really focusing ourselves before expanding is something I wonder about a lot. So.
I think that's a great point, Andrea. We all need to know why we're here and why we're meeting every week. So that's a great point.
Yeah. So with that, thank you, everyone. I look forward to 2 weeks from today. Who is it that's presenting? Does anybody know what the schedule says? Is it Yasuhiko? Steve? Is that
Yes, I believe it is.
Okay, and they'll be ready?
Yes, that was a test case to see that they can reach us today, so they'll be ready.
Okay, fantastic. And then Andrea and Steve and Mark and Lisa, you'll report back to us next week on your conversation, or 2 weeks from now. So good news is we've got our bank account, and please look for, Steve, will you be sending out some kind of a notice to invite people to pay their annual dues?
Yes, I'll be getting that out as soon as we have a official word that we're chartered.
Okay. We've also got the PayPal set up for international members. Let's see. The website is awesome. Look carefully at the website. Lisa, you've done an amazing job. She's put in on the chat the link to it and the committee. I look for an email from me with some potential committees that we were thinking might be interested in joining. What we're deciding is that just having these every other hangouts, it's interesting, it's wonderful, it gives us direction, but we really want to start, as some of you were saying, it's going beyond talk to action. Some of us who have been setting up the structure for it have been taking action, but we know that the rest of you are eager to jump in the game too. So look on the website, see the description of what the working groups are, the committees are. I'll send an email with that link, and then also kind of what some of us were thinking you might be good at. And then we'll discuss that next time. We'll have a Japanese presenter, Yasuhiko. Steve, what does Yasuhiko do?
Yasuhiko owns three big companies. He's in the synthetic fiber business. He supplies a third of the fabric for a major company all over that sells all over the world. So he's an interesting guy, very busy, but he's very interested in doing work in Asia. So his talk should be very interesting.
Fantastic.
Great. I would be willing to make a presentation about our project on the 29th, if that's if people would like that. I think that would work.
Jamil, I think we have a schedule already on if you look on Weary on Facebook.
I'll check it out. I'll talk to Lisa and we'll
please
figure out
check
a time.
Yeah, so everyone, just so that you know, the schedule is listed on Facebook, We Rotary. On the upper right-hand corner is a little magnifying glass. If you click on that, that becomes a search bar. If you search for schedule, you'll be able to pull that up.
Okay.
And what else do I want to say? We're making progress. Next time we should be able to have some champagne or something to celebrate with, because next time we should be able to report that we've officially been chartered. All right?
It's supposed to be a charter party when we do it, so we've got to do something about that.
Okay, well, we might be using Google Effects. Let's have some fun. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful 2 weeks, and we'll see you on the 15th. Be well.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.